What's up? You know, we got another video here by the young man visual venture, okay? All right, it's been a minute since we've done one of these. And by a minute, I mean a couple days. So go ahead and like the video, subscribe. Let's sit back and let's check out the disturbing truth about Amino. Now, if you don't know what Amino is, he's probably going to explain it. But I actually did check it out back in the day when I was looking for a relationship and, like, you know, more girls who were into like nerdy gaming, video games, anime, stuff like that. And it was, from what I gathered initially, a cool little community where people like that gather. So let's see what he says about the disturbing truth about Amino.
As a teenager, it can be hard trying to fit in. What if you like a specific video game like Minecraft, but none of your friends like it? Do you force yourself to enjoy the games your friends like? Or do you stick to the game you want to play, but risk being alone? What if there's an app that can help you with this problem? An app that promises a community of like-minded people in whatever interest you can dream of. Well, there is. It's called Amino.
You know, you find people that you have a common interest with, because there's literally an amino for anything you can think of.
On Amino, you can join all kinds of communities and make friendships with people who love.
For people, like for me, I used it as kind of like a pseudo dating app because it was like, you know what, it was easy. Like this was like a couple of years ago. This is like, I think like, I want to say like 4 years ago, right? So like, obviously like me, all my friends and stuff, like we have similar overlapping interests, and so we can play no problem. Where the problem comes in is finding females that are also interested in that. That's what I use that for.
Of the same things as you. You can chat, post stories, and create quizzes about the topics you love. According to tech news outlet The Verge, Amino is what Reddit would look like if it was born in the mobile era. But there's one big difference between Reddit and Amino. The average Redditor is 23 years old, but Amino is heavily marketed toward teens. And anytime young people meet in a specific place online, you also invite the worst types of people.
This is one of the apps the FBI is warning parents about. It's called Amino.
But Amino wasn't always a risk to its users. What if I told you that Amino was once amazing? And it started in a very interesting place, the anime convention. This is Ben Anderson, the founder of Amino. He had a dream. He once said, "I want to create something from nothing that has a positive effect on the world." Ben and his university classmate Yin Wang went to an anime convention together in Boston. Yin loved anime. Ben didn't. But during the convention, something stood out to Ben, the anime fans.
It was pretty amazing for us to see these really passionate people, but complete strangers with one another, making friends almost immediately just because they had this shared passion.
And then the idea hit him.
And so we wanted to kind of bottle
the DragonCon video. Go check that out, about where I talk about the AI artists that got kicked out, because I'm pretty sure I saw some people there that I was like thinking about, that I was suspecting like, is that AI or whatever? And I explained more about that in the video. So if you want to go check that out, go check that out. I might have it as the recommended video for this one. We'll see if I can squeeze that in there. But yeah, go check that out if you're interested.
up that experience and provide it 24/7 for every interest in the world.
And in 2012, Amino was born. Ben, Yin, and their small team at Narvi Inc. created the first Amino communities. In the beginning, the app needed some work. For every Amino community you wanted to join, you needed to download its own separate app. So if you wanted to be part of the photography Amino and the K-pop Amino, you had to download two different apps. Back then, the content was tightly moderated too, and users loved the app. According to Ben, users spent an average of 60 minutes on Amino every single day. It was more addictive than the most popular social media platform at the time, Facebook, with an average of 50 minutes of daily screen time. But Ben Anderson wanted to take it a step further. Amino would take all their 250 communities and merge them into one single app. They also allowed any user to create their own communities using the Community Manager app, and by the end of 2016, Amino jumped from 250 to 250,000 different communities. Wow. And this is where things started to go wrong. Ben and his small team at Narvi Inc. couldn't keep up with how large Amino has grown. So Narvi Inc. entrusted the Amino communities to moderate themselves. And as a YouTuber once said, don't let kids moderate kids. Without proper moderation, issues flooded the app. And in 2021, just when things couldn't get worse, Ben left Amino. The visual venture team joined
that's crazy. That's like right before. I think that's like either like during, because I think it was like close to 2021 when I actually joined it. I want to say it was either that or like 2020. I want to say. So I think it was like either 2020 or 2021, but it was around the time that I was using it.
to do research, and the things that we saw on this kid-friendly app were more disturbing than we thought. Bots are taking over Amino. Like many websites, all you need to sign up for Amino is an email address. Once you're in, the app asks you to pick your interests. It'll then suggest various Amino groups called Aminos for you to join. But within minutes after signing up, I was bombarded with messages in different languages promoting random Aminos. And some messages even had links to pages that were not appropriate for kids. I've never run into this many spam bots on any other social media app.
Amino really definitely has like a bot problem. Like, I've seen certain communities lock themselves because they're just like, we're tired of this.
Later, we found out that you can set a limit to who can send you a message. But by then, my inbox was flooded with nothing but bot messages. And it's clear that I'm not the only one. A Redditor who goes by the name Scared Delta made a post begging Amino to remove these bots, which reminds us of the potential harm they can bring to young people. Amino, seriously, get rid of the bots currently plaguing the app. Why are there so many inappropriate bots? And as you can see in this comment section of this Reddit post, Scared Delta wasn't alone either. Many other Amino users also face a bot problem. Judging from how these posts about bots keep being made, it seems that Amino hasn't done much to solve this problem. Amino is home to millions of kids, and if this is the experience they have to deal with on a regular basis, it's definitely a concern. But some problems on Amino aren't just because of people using bots. As you'll see in our next chapter, one horrible issue comes from the app itself. Amino coins, the corrupt currency. I'm not completely opposed to using the internet, by the way. I only encourage safe use. After all, I'm able to spread this message to you guys through the internet. And some websites can even teach you more for less than half the price of a school textbook. And one of these websites is brilliant.org. When I was going to school, I just couldn't retain information because the method of it. Click the link to get started. And thank you a ton to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. In 2020, the parental control app Guardian discovered that children in the US were using Amino for an average of 90 minutes each day. It was the fourth most popular app in the country among children, and that's a problem.
I remember when I first joined Amino, I did not expect to get addicted. I was on it when I woke up, I was on it when I went to sleep, I was skipping meals. It is really addicting.
So why is it so addictive? Amino has its own virtual currency, which users can grind for. This currency is called Amino coins. People would spend money to buy Amino coins so they could use it to buy things like custom messaging frames or chat bubbles. And like many free-to-play mobile games, these items can be very expensive.
I never known a social media app where you can spend almost £100.
But while you can spend money to
that's kind of like Gaia Online. The thing about that with like Gaia, because me and my brother used to play Gaia back in the day. Me and my brother and my sister actually. It was a cool little site. If you don't know what Gaia Online is, you missed an entire section of time on the internet that was so peak, but also really cringy. But yeah, go check out Gaia if you haven't seen that. But like, well, actually, maybe not check it out now, but maybe look at some history videos. But they basically had a bunch of like aesthetics and stuff like that you can put on your characters, and it had a marketplace that actually had a like huge scam around it. Not really a scam, but it was more like just like they had made this kind of like pay to win system, but they made it very temporarily and they didn't know how to control it once they did it. So like after they made it and people started abusing it, it kind of like broke the system within the game and like the economy within the game, so that people like the wealth gap between people who had that item when it was still available and the people that didn't it just got so crazy that the game, like the economy couldn't really sustain itself, which is a cool, interesting thought experiment. But at the end of the day, I say that just to say it was a cool little thing that people like, you know, spent money on in the game to like have things. I remember there was this one thing that I always wanted to get from the shop, but it was either never there because it was so rare, or it was always, somebody had always put it like super expensive to where I would have to ask for like actual money to buy it. And I wasn't going to do that because we only like grinded up with the stuff that we got in game. And it would take it so long to get that. It was like the little Itachi egg that like lets you get like Itachi aesthetics that you could like change. Like you have like the crows around you, you could have like a robe and stuff like that. It was really dope. It was cool. Itachi was my favorite character back then, so that's why. One of my favorite characters. He's my favorite Naruto character for sure.
buy Amino coins, most users choose to earn them by watching ads. And the content in these ads is a problem in itself. During my own experience using the app, I was lucky enough not to see any ads like these. That was a good thing. But when I viewed Amino posts from my PC, the ads were even worse. Amino itself is breaking their own community guidelines by displaying these ads. In order to protect teens, Amino prohibits them from making posts which include appearing in underwear, wearing swimsuits indoors, or dressing in overly revealing clothing. But these were exactly the kind of ads I saw on their website. But the way Amino exploits its
Amino, what happened? This was after the guy left, right? This is after Ben left. Did they see that ad money? They were just like, this is what happens a lot of the times when like the original person leaves the company from the vision. Like if there isn't somebody at the company that maintains the same level of deep-rooted vision that the original founders had, then the company's like, at least from what I've observed, usually gonna go to shit after that because the values aren't aligned and the popularity is there, the fan base is there, the money's there, but the values are not aligned, and that's what's gonna ultimately drag it into the ground.
users' desire for Amino coins doesn't just end there. Amino doesn't just show inappropriate ads. It advertises scams. Like some free-to-play mobile games, Amino uses the advertising platform Tapjoy, which rewards users with currency in exchange for completing tasks. These tasks range from answering survey questions to downloading other apps. In 2021, the FTC, or Federal Trade Commission, revealed that Tapjoy deceived customers by failing to provide the reward it promised. The FTC received hundreds of thousands of complaints, with customers saying that even after they shared their sensitive information, Tapjoy didn't give out the rewards they promised. Instead, Tapjoy tried to stop people from complaining by not letting them submit a complaint within 24 hours of completing a task. So Amino's user base isn't the only source of its problems. The app itself is guilty of exploiting its young audience to inappropriate ads and scams. But these ads are only the tip of the iceberg, because as you'll see in this next chapter, your safety is at risk. Do not click this link. One of our Visual Venture viewers, who goes by the username Dark, shared a particularly chilling incident. Like many young Amino users, Dark encountered horrible people on the app. However, one interaction in particular was carved into his memory to this day. This incident happened in 2022. It started off with Dark changing his profile picture. While he's not sure how, his profile picture made some Amino users upset, causing them to send some nasty messages. Dark changed his profile picture again to avoid conflict, but the harassment didn't end. Whenever Dark went on Amino, those users that sent horrible messages followed him. When he joined public chats, these users would join in, telling the people in the chat that Dark was doing horrible things. These bullies made his life on Amino miserable, and it was about to get worse. Dark received a message from one of his bullies. "You're not afraid? How about I leak your IP address?" Dark panicked. He didn't even know if this bully had his IP address, but considering how far these bullies have gone to hurt him, the threat felt real. Dark said, "I don't know what encouraged that person to leak my IP. And like every kid probably would, I got scared. I've done everything and hoped to forget it, but I couldn't." Dark's experience encouraged our team to look further
in the day though, that was like the max level threat from anybody on in any of these online communities. It's like, yo, I'm about to dox you, I'm about to leak your IP address. Like, yo, that was like the max level threat.
To this type of situation. We found that some hackers were posing as Amino employees, tricking kids into clicking shady links. These links are disguised as bit.ly links, but when you click it, it reveals your sensitive information like your IP addresses. There were even reports of users who had their Wi-Fi locked after clicking on one of these links. We're not sure if Dark's bully was a hacker, but the fact is there are so many young people getting their IPs grabbed on Amino. But it's not just...
I remember I got my account stolen on Wizard 101, bro. Me and my brother were playing. I got my original Wizard 101 account stolen. I had to make another one from scratch. It was crazy. Because, like, because I was, like, talking to one dude on there. He said he was going to get us some stuff, right? He said he was going to get us some crowns, right? Or was it crowns? I think it was either crowns or it was, like, I think it was either like pet hatching stuff, but it was stuff that like it would take like a long, like either like you'd have to use like real money to get it, like for the crowns and everything, or yeah, I think it was trying to teach us how to generate crowns, right? he was like, yo, I found this thing where there's like, you can generate crowns and whatnot. And I can show you how to use it, right? And so I actually did this. I was like, okay. I told him, bro, I was like, yo, don't talk to this guy. I'm gonna check it out and see what's going on, right? So I gave him all the stuff. Like I gave him my information, my account information and all that. And then he ended up stealing my account. So I logged into my alt account to try to talk to him and whatnot, right? And I logged into my brother's account to try to talk to him and whatnot, right? And then the dude ended up blocking all the accounts and then dipping and all that. And I was like, wow. Because he was trying to change my password and stuff. I saw him actually trying to change my password because I thought I had him, right? Bro was like, I logged into the account on the email and everything. And I saw it and I got the notifications that says like, oh, your account password has been changed and all that. And I was looking through like the history. I was like, So I contacted KingsOwl to try to like get the account back and stuff like that. But they didn't do anything. They couldn't end up doing anything. Honestly, that was always their number one thing was like, don't tell anybody your account information. So like, I'm not surprised that they couldn't do anything, but I just thought that because it was so recent and it like just happened that I could do it. At least that's how I remember the situation. It might not have happened exactly like that, but that's how I remember it. But dang man, it was tough. It was a tough time being a kid back then, falling for those like paid coin scams, because like nobody wants to run to their parents and like ask them for like the paid stuff in the games, or at least I didn't, because I was like, I'd rather just like get the stuff in game if we can, and then just like try to figure it out. But it was that greed, man. It was that greed, man. Shady, bro, shady. Really, it was just a lack of trust. Because if he had found a way to do it, then. But if I could actually trust him, I shouldn't have given the account information. I already knew that I shouldn't have. But there was a part of me that was just like, But what if he's right, though? I could probably stop him from hacking the account. I was wrong. He got me. He got me. But it was all good because I just hopped on I made a backup account and then we just like grinded back up. So it was what it was. But yeah, don't be giving people your account information. If I have any kid audiences watching this right now, don't be giving people your account information. Come on now. That was silly. Learn from me.
Hackers on Amino, because Amino is home to some of the most terrible communities on the internet. The worst Amino communities. Picture this, you're a teenager using Amino. One day you're bored and decide to type in an inappropriate word in the search bar. The kind of stuff that's banned on YouTube, because you're curious if Amino actually filters their communities. Thankfully, Amino didn't show you anything inappropriate. I mean, after all, it's a kid-friendly app. But when we did this ourselves, Amino didn't filter one thing. Gore media, which is content that shows graphic violence. Not only did Amino show me extremely violent pictures and videos, but it even recommended me to communities that promoted these images. When I clicked on one of these Amino groups, I saw pictures that I can't unsee. So I can't imagine what it's like for kids to see this type of shocking content. And I wasn't even a member of that particular Amino. In an article, reporter Louise Matsakis discovered the same things I found. She wrote, I was able to find content that violated the rules, including groups dedicated to inappropriate content within minutes. The ease in which any curious kid can come across this content is sickening, but at least users could report these violations and Amino would take them down, right? Well, in the same article, then CEO Ben Anderson claimed, with more than 1 million communities, we know that these violations sometimes escape our best efforts, but it's often only a matter of hours or even minutes before these violations are fully addressed. Maybe that was the case when Ben was still at Amino, but during my research, the same communities that I discovered were still up after a week. As long as Amino provides a platform for these dark communities, the app is not a safe place for young people. But what if I told you that Amino wasn't just ignoring the inappropriate content, but actually allowing kids to access this content more easily? The darkest time in Amino history. Amino got its name from amino acids. Just like how amino acids are found all over the body, all sorts of communities can be found on Amino. These communities normally don't interact with each other, but during what users call the darkest time in Amino history, many communities banded together for a specific purpose: to protest an in-app update. In June of 2022, Amino came out with a feature, live streaming. But here's the catch. Amino users aren't the ones live streaming. Instead, they're just the audience of these live streams. So who are the streamers then? Kick users. Users on the social media app Kick were the ones who were live streaming for Amino users to watch. Kick and Amino are both social media apps.
Isn't Kick the one that's like low regulation? Hold on, let me. I just activated the. Come on, there you go, buddy. Did I wrongly? Did I think? Okay, that's fine. But yo, isn't Kick the one that has like low regulations for streaming and whatnot? That's what I thought. Isn't Aiden Ross on Kick? Because he was like, I want to be on this I want to be on this super right wing red pill stuff, and I don't want anybody to tell me what to do. Isn't that why he's on Kick, right? Or is that something else?
Apps owned by Media Lab. This update seemed to be a business move to encourage users from Kick and Amino to explore both apps. But here's the problem. Amino is rated as a 12 and over app. Kick is rated not. 17 plus. So when adults from Kick live stream themselves to Amino's young audience, it's a recipe for disaster.
That's terrible,
oh my
bro.
goodness gracious. I just want to see art. Are you serious? Why is this a thing? This is something children should not see.
Amino's user base was angry. These Kick live streams had nothing to do with their communities. And on top of that, these live streams were not made for kids. This was the most controversial update in Amino history. But
that doesn't even serve the... Bro, this... Oh my gosh, bro. I love the fact that, like... Oh, man. I love the fact that, like, America is largely a place where you can do a lot of stuff if you're willing to actually put the work in and do it. But man, do I wish there was some kind of regulation around certain people running certain businesses. Because when you just completely disregard the core function of your business and you start implementing stuff that like people should not be around or be involved in, especially like your core fan base, that's so icky to me, man. I'm just like, yo, bro, y'all lost the plot, bro. That was definitely a money grab and y'all lost the plot. I'm gonna be straight up. Like, why are we having hot tub streamers come in and like mingle with like these people that are on Amino, like the young kids that are basically like, they're just trying to watch anime, they're just trying to play games and talk with people. Why are we having like hot tub streams come in and do that, right? Just not it, bro. Just completely just... I don't like it. I don't like it, man.
Media Lab didn't care. According to the terms of service for Amino Live, you are solely responsible for your interactions with other users. We reserve the right to monitor disputes between you and other users, but we have no obligation to do so. Amino users had enough. Using the hashtag #TogetherForAmino, over 500 communities united to protest the update. They warned other users not to update their app for their own safety. Amino protesters used every platform available to demand Media Lab to take away the live stream feature, and it worked. In October of 2022, Amino announced that it will be removing its live stream feature. Even though no official reason was given, Amino users celebrated, and 1 month later, the live streams were gone. Together for Amino brought people together as a community to fight a common enemy. But a lot of times, people are alone when they're surfing the internet, and when you're alone, you can be more vulnerable to the dangers around you. This is exactly what happened to Emmy. Emmy's story. Kids have a big imagination. They can get lost in their own made-up worlds without the responsibilities that come from being an adult. And thanks to a wide variety of communities on Amino, it's the ideal place for young people to be creative, including Emmy. Emmy was active in roleplay communities on Amino. In January of 2022, Emmy would upload a 15-minute video to YouTube sharing her thoughts about Amino.
We need to talk about Amino.
Like many other young people on Amino, Emmy had horrible interactions with other users. In the video, Emmy details her experiences with these people.
I was being targeted by a man who would use multiple accounts and try and threaten me.
Throughout the video, Emmy would show screenshots of the disgusting messages she received. Roleplaying is very popular on Amino, but sometimes it crosses the line. Kids are very imaginative, so many adults would take advantage of this imagination. These adults take part in roleplaying as a way to get their victims comfortable with them. So when Emmy realized that the people she was was interacting with were trying to take advantage of her, she did the right thing and reported them. But unfortunately, it didn't help because Amino communities are self-moderated. Emmy was punished for bringing to light these sick people.
I was banned from the biggest role-playing community.
And even after reaching out to Amino's support staff, Emmy was ignored. And the harassment from her Amino community kept growing. But Emmy didn't let that stop her. She was determined to put an end to these adults taking advantage of kids. So Emmy worked her way up in one of her communities to become a moderator. This way, she could create a safer environment. But even in a position of power, Emmy still couldn't do anything about the disgusting people in the community. She kept speaking out about these issues that were actually illegal, and the moderators didn't like that, so they kicked her out. This is one small instance of a girl who wanted to stop.
Nah, bro. Nah, Amino is cooked, bro. You're a mod, and she even went the extra mile to become a mod and try to do right by people, and got kicked from being a mod for speaking about pedophilic activities. What? Nah, Amino's biggest problem at this point. At this point in the story, I'm starting to think the problem might be the community itself now. Cause like the moderation was subpar, the company management was subpar, and now it's like even the mods that are trying to do good are getting ousted by the people that are doing bad. So outside looking in at this point in time with the information I have right now, it looks like the problem might be the community itself, or at least the people that are in power in the community, and in the communities. Now, that's just one of the Amino communities. I can't speak for all of them, but at least that one.
But the story is far more common than you think. These issues are deeply rooted in the culture of Amino, and it's clear in our next story. I thought Amino was a safe place. Our story begins with a girl named Kala. Kala is a fan of the game Gacha Life, which is a popular role-playing mobile game where you can create anime-style characters. Kala went on Amino to look for a
Gacha Life might be like the second coming of Gaia Online, because it will probably worse. I don't know how Gacha Life is, but like Gaia Online, they had a bunch of games and stuff that you could play and stuff like that, and they had this one like large open world game called like ZOMG, which was pretty cool. I don't know what Gacha Life has other than like the little like characters and stuff where you just like move around with, but yeah. I probably
community who share her love for the game. On Amino, Kala discovered that different Aminos have different levels of privacy. Some Aminos she could join right away, but others required approval. But one Gacha Life Amino had a very specific request before they approved her. Kala received the DM from Mandy, who claims to work at Amino. In the DM, Mandy told Kala that their community was a safe place for young girls. And in order to maintain that, Kala had to verify her age and her gender. So Mandy asked Kala to send a compromising photo of herself. If Kala refused, she was told she'd be permanently banned. Kala immediately showed this message to her mom, and her mom was horrified. This is how Kala's mom described it. I was scared. I felt as if they had intruded into our home. Although it's probably someone thousands of miles away, it really felt like an intrusion into our privacy. Thanks to Kala's smart thinking, this incident caught the attention of the media. The authorities are currently looking into this case, so hopefully one day Mandy will get caught. Even though Kala's story ended well, we wanted to know if Aminos with this kind of verification still exist on the app. During our research, we came...
They said nude verification, bro? Heck no, bro. It's a safe place for young girls. What are y'all on, bro? Huh?
Across some Aminos that require photo verification to join. For example, in this kids-only Amino, you have to verify by sending a picture of yourself with random letters when you enter. I know it's not as bad as Mandy's message, but it's still creepy. I understand why people go on Amino. I mean, we all want to feel a sense of belonging, right? A lot of young people don't feel comfortable at home or at school, and because of that, we turn to apps like Amino to find the place where we belong. I personally struggled with fitting in my whole life. I was always trying to fit the mold of other people I looked up to, but always falling short. I thought I would never find my place. But then I realized, if you feel like you don't fit into this world, it's because you're here to create a better one. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, click this playlist right here to watch more dark internet documentaries, because our goal is 500,000 subscribers by the end of 2023. Thank you guys for being part of this channel.
W everything, man. That's always good watching, man. with that being said, let me know what y'all think about the dark truth about Amino, man. Because that stuff, let me know if y'all had any experiences with that too. Like any of these online communities. Like obviously Reddit is one. I know a lot of people are in there for sure. But let me know, you've been on Amino, Gaia. Let me know down in the comments what you think about that. What's your take? But with that being said, that's gonna be it for me. Go subscribe to Visual Adventure. Go subscribe to me. I'm gonna link another. I think I'm gonna link that video, and go ahead and like this one. And I'll see you later. Bye.